The stomach is an acid environment, and it will only break the protein down in an acid environment. We've looked at the importance of protein. We've looked at how the membrane around every cell is 50% protein. We've looked at the importance of eating adequate protein, and thank you to the cooks who've shown us how we can, as vegetarians, eat more protein. But here is another aspect, that we need a nice acid stomach to break down the protein. I'll give you an amusing story on this. I was in Little Rock, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I had a flight to catch, and I came in, and I must have been at the wrong level because there was no one there, but there was a policeman there with a very large gun. And I went up and I said, "Excuse me, I'm not sure where to go." And he smiled. He said, "I'll take you." He closed his office, took his gun, and we're standing at the lift. He said, "You're Barbara O'Neill, aren't you?" I said, "I am." He said, "I've got a story for you." He said, "For 15 years, I had reflux." He said, "I was on Nexium. They tried me on other ones. And then he said, I watched a lecture by you on YouTube where you said it's a scam." So he said, I stopped it, and I started to have most of my food at breakfast and lunch. He said, I started taking cayenne pepper with the meal. He said, at night I'd take some magnesium to keep that closed. He said, I don't have reflux anymore. Thanks. So simple. So incredibly simple. Do you know what the research is showing now? The research is showing that people on long-term antacids, Nexium, the proton pump inhibitors stopping the acid being released, they're starting to show colon cancer. Because the protein's not getting broken down, partially digested protein is getting into the colon. The colon has to create extra bacteria to break it down in an attempt to control it by the time it gets out. Yeah. You see, there is a result. Newton's third law of motion: to every action there's an equal and an opposite reaction. When you continually block the release of that acid, you are inhibiting your body being able to break, especially your protein, down. As we'll find out this afternoon, most digestion happens in the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine, where the liver, via the gallbladder, releases bile, whereas the pancreas, it releases enzymes. And all of our food should be broken down and absorbed halfway down the small intestine. So all that should be left down here is just insoluble fibre. But if the person continually blocks that release of the hydrochloric acid, food's not getting broken down, then what's coming into the colon is partially digested food. And if you ask the person, they're always tired, they've got no energy, they've always got bloating, because when that bacteria is produced to try and calm down that partially digested protein that's already, if it's meat, it's already putrefying, fermenting, that causes a lot of methane gas. So that's the bloating and the gas. Proverbs 26 verse 2 states that the curse causeless shall not come. That gas doesn't happen for no reason. That reflux doesn't happen for no reason. There is always a cause. And that's why you're the doctor. And to be your own doctor, you start documenting your case, looking at your history. And your body will tell you where it needs help. There's your symptoms. And then you start to adjust the way you're eating, when you eat, what you eat, when you drink. You start to adjust these things and observe your body's response. And sometimes it'll say, that was good. I know this morning my stomach said with breakfast, that was very good. That's my husband's favourite breakfast.